but there are still these mental barriers or bottlenecks in their business that they're kind of afraid to take the next step on. So it's kind of different for each person. It could be maybe platforms they don't want to spend the time to be on, but they know they should be on. Like maybe they should really be on Instagram and put together a short form video strategy and use ManyChat and do things to scale their business there, but they really don't want to or they're afraid to. Or it could be they really need to hand off a part of their business that they used to do, but maybe they shouldn't be doing anymore. So like for me, for example, that would be like, I probably shouldn't be editing my own videos anymore, but I know how to do it. I did it for 10 years. Like, why would I want to hand this off? So it's like the things that people are used to doing, but they probably shouldn't be doing. Those are the typical levers you try to come in and
It's probably the thing you're pretty good at, but not like world class at. Right? So like Caleb's great at video editing, but like there's some probably better video editors who would be less effective hourly rates than what he should be demanding of his own time. I'm good at lead generation, but does that mean I should be writing all of my own content and being the person that follows up on it and be the one that actually creates landing pages for the funnels? No, like I could be the strategic architect over that, but like someone else needs to be doing that work. And so that's going to be personal for everyone listening. Like, but it's kind of like kill your darlings, right? It's like probably the thing that you're pretty good at that you kind of like is probably the thing holding you back. Do you think that's like a fair way to summarize that?
yeah, typically it's something that seems scary to hand off, ends up being the thing that people really need to let go of. And it also tends to be things that actually don't make them money, but they tend to hang on to those things for whatever reason. So, you do exercises of determining, their personal hourly rate, and if they could hire someone for less than that, they should probably hand it off. But that's still kind of a mental barrier for people to unlock of whether they think like, let's say my rate is $500 an hour. Can I really go make that in an hour or not? Like I'll just do it, I'll just take care of it. And, you can take it too far where you just have everyone doing everything for you and you just essentially sit around. But, Dan Martell, his book, Buy Back Your Time. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but he's talking about that problem specifically, So it's like, are there things you shouldn't be doing that are taking away from what you should be doing? And, I think you could take it too far, but I'd almost rather you take it too far than have to, bring it back a little bit of getting help on things that are taking time and energy away from what's really valuable to you. Yeah, a lot of who I've serviced like as a video production company over the past 10 years are people at a certain level in their business. And I targeted people that could afford, a 5-figure video project for me to fly out, film with them for a few days to record something that they would sell and make even more money off of. And so essentially what I'm doing now is on the side of SPI is working with people at that level in the like mid to 6-figure, low 7-figure range that are looking to either scale beyond themselves. Maybe they have like a handful of contractors, or they've started to hire some teams with there's, systems or missing pieces essentially in their business. And I essentially come in like a mechanic to determine what parts of their businesses are weak or could be fixed, and figuring out what those systems are that we can make better. So typically someone's either really good at content creation or marketing, and that's why they're able to grow an audience or grow a business, but they might not be so good on, building a team or operations, or their finances might be a mess, or whatever it is. There might be leaky parts of their funnel that they're not really seeing. And those are the things that I can come in and kind of assess, and then kind of like an architect, kind of put a blueprint together for like, okay, this is what this part of your business should look like. And so it's helping creators that kind of reach a plateau or a scale issue where they either want to scale beyond themselves a bit more or scale their revenue higher than they've been able to. It does come down to essentially an audit, for lack of a better term, of seeing all the different parts of their business. What is your team? What are your systems? What are the apps you're using to do certain things? And then through that, you just kind of find red flags, honestly. You just find like something that's held together by duct tape when it probably shouldn't be, because it's an essential part of your car that you're trying to drive. When I was in high school, I drove an old Buick Park Avenue, a 1990 beige. Every part of it was beige. Outside was beige, inside was beige, everything was beige. And I was on a date and I was driving it, and the catalytic converter fell out of the bottom of my car. And it turned from like regular car volume to like go-kart level volume. And I, as a kid, I was like 16 or 17. I had no idea what the catalytic converter was, but I learned about it that day because it fell at the bottom of my car, like rusted off. I had to go pick it up with a golf towel that was in the trunk of my car because it was so hot, and then drove the rest of the day, like, like with a super loud Buick car.